Oh, it's going to be a tough summer for Nicola Sturgeon, Queen Nicola of the SNP government. Now, problem we have for the nationalists who don't like to be called nationalists in Scotland is that they are now running out of money. The SNP government and Scotland are facing bankruptcy, actual bankruptcy. And the administration are now begging Boris Johnson because they have £3.5 billion black hole in their budget. The same Nicola Sturgeon, the same SNP government, who on a regular basis, they keep complaining and moaning that all the problems is caused by Westminster and English taxpayers and basically England. They don't even actually bother to talk about the other neighbours that we have, Wales and all the rest of the community of our kingdom. At the same time, when she's basically creating this problem for people in Scotland, what does she do? She goes, knock on the door on number 10 Downing Street and says, "Can I have more money, Prime Minister? Because I'm the First Minister of Scotland, I don't have that much power." We've given you enough power, Nicola, and now £3.5 billion. Do you really think if we, the English taxpayers and the Welsh and the people in Northern Ireland, if we get together again, and if the Treasury in London take our money to give it basically to Holyrood and Nicola Sturgeon, do you really think that they're going to actually solve the problems in Scotland? And people, the Scottish voters and the taxpayers, are going to be better off? Absolutely not. Now, to give you an example of why you can't have faith in these idiots, is look at ScotRail. Now, ScotRail, the socialists in Scotland, the SNP members, who are very much in favour of everything that comes from socialism, high taxes and nationalisation. And the brainwashing when it comes to nationalisation has been very successful in this country over the last 100 years. Now, the last few decades, every time there's a failure from a private company, then people say, both centre-left and centre-right sometimes actually agree. A lot of people have been falling for this trap, saying, well, the only solution is clearly to nationalise it. Because they use nice words like public control and public ownership. No. They take your money, you have no control as the public. Now, none of this ever worked. And sometimes, if a short-term instant nationalisation has worked, it's only been for 10 minutes to fix, like a plaster, fix a long-term problem. But it actually doesn't do anything medium-term or long-term. ScotRail, instantly, when it was nationalised, taken over at a cost of £4 million, 1/3 of the services were cut. They were cut completely. They destroyed the system. They said, if you nationalise it, if you allow Nicola Sturgeon to nationalise it, then they're going to protect the workers, they're going to protect the services. So what happened? All the money wasted on it, and you're cutting the services, and you're still moaning about the fact that you have no money. There's another example I'm going to have in terms of the ferries in Scotland. It all goes back to infrastructure and transport, by the way. Now, Ferguson Marine is another industry, a company essentially that's been nationalised, and in order to take over the building of ferries and all the infrastructure around it and the ports in Scotland, they decided to spend the idea in terms of the budget. The cost was supposed to be £97 million. So far, it's not even finished yet, the buildings. Not £250 million so far has been spent, compared to 97 that was promised. That was the target. It's like HS2 all over again. You cannot trust the bureaucrats and the state to run businesses. And people never think about the fact that it's actually bureaucrats and the state doing it, the politicians, because it's in the name of public ownership and public control. Doesn't matter when we have no say. Doesn't matter when we're not actually doing it. You're doing it in our names, using our money. But it's in reality, people have no idea about anything about business. They are making promises to meet targets, and they keep wasting our money further. This is a big problem that's been created. Now look at this. This is the dramatic deficit situation. About essentially the net fiscal balance as a percentage of GDP in Scotland. This is absolutely embarrassing. Look at post 2015-16 onwards, especially 2018 onwards, the massive fall. Can you blame any specific things? Can you blame Boris Johnson's hair, or Theresa May's shoes, or the fact that you don't have enough power? It's because of Nicola Sturgeon. Now, all the other SNP leaders and governments have also been bad, but especially over the last few years, she caused it. She's a Sadiq Khan of Hollywood. And it's not a compliment, left-wingers, if you're watching this. This is a bad situation. Now, we are going to keep you guys posted because people in Scotland don't really get any coverage. You know, you don't really have any mainstream media channel actually talking about people in Scotland or people in Northern Ireland or Wales. And we are going to come back tomorrow as well with some more updates from Wales. There's some chaotic situation happening over there as well. And so stay up to date, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell next to it. That's the best way to get notified. I'm Tousi and we are the media.